Welcome to Phantasm Paranormal.
Hi, I'm Reverend Dave Christensen. I'm the director and lead investigator for Phantasm Paranormal. I'm going to talk to you about a case that we did quite a few years ago. It involved the suicide of a young woman by the name of Andrea. First, I want to give you some information, a little food for thought. Suicide is one of the highest leading causes of death in the U.S. Every year, 44,965 people commit suicide just in the United States alone. Suicide is most common among men, people with brain injuries, people who have attempted suicide in the past, people with a history of depression or other mental health conditions, and people who misuse alcohol and drugs. If you're thinking about harming yourself, consider contacting the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. There is someone there to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Did you know in 2016 alone, there were 44,965 suicides, up from 42,773 in 2014, an increase of 2,192 according to the National Center for Health Statistics. The annual suicide rate in the United States increased 24% between 1999 and 2014, the highest rate recorded in 28 years. We have investigated a lot of suicides, accidental deaths, and homicides over the years. And all of them, they're gut-wrenching, they're heartbreaking. Not only have we found out why an individual committed suicide, but we also acquired information from a few spirits to solve their murders after they were deemed to be suicides by the coroner's office. You know, I've had a lot of people make a comment that it takes a lot of courage to commit suicide. And I look at them like, what's the matter with you? Are you nuts? Only a coward commits suicide. Seriously, think about it. Somebody that commits suicide is running away from their problems instead of facing them head on and dealing with them. You know, a lot of people, they think that they have a problem and only they can solve it, only they can work it out. But that's not true. You got friends and relatives that love you, that are willing to help you. All you have to do is reach out to them. It's amazing, you know, people that commit suicide, they're being selfish. They're not thinking about the people they leave behind. They're not thinking about their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, co-workers, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends. They're not thinking about them. They're only thinking about themselves. That's being self-centered. You know, and people that commit suicide, they have all those people to reach out to. You know, and if you're afraid to reach out to them, you can contact a minister or a priest. I've talked to several people that have talked about committing suicide, and I helped them overcome it. You have to reach out. This is a house that we investigated. When we first arrived at the house, we spoke to a relative of Andrea's by the name of Kathy on the first floor. While we were talking to her, we caught an EVP of Andrea calling out to her. In this EVP, you'll hear Andrea call out Kathy's name.
But I mean, this main floor, I mean, the attic is empty. It's never had. But the main floor is not bad.
No.
But I mean, this main floor, I mean, the attic is empty. It's never had. But the main floor is not bad.
No. We discovered 9 other spirits inside that house that night. We were there for about 3 hours. 5 of the spirits were family members, including Andrea, along with 3 other male spirits by the name of Tom, Jake, and Harry, and one unknown woman, and we have no idea who she is, and none of the living relatives recognize her voice. But the spirits in the house, Andrea, who was 32 at the time of her death, Vincent, a little boy that died less than an hour after his birth, Jack, Andrea's uncle, who committed suicide at the age of 63 in his apartment, Andrea's grandmother Mary, she was 64 at the time of her death, and John, Kathy's stepfather, the woman that called us to investigate the house. We asked Andrea if Vincent was there with her, and she replied yes, as well as Vincent. You can hear Vincent reply. I'll play that for you now.
Could you ask Andrea if she's with Vincent?
Is Andrea with Vincent?
Yeah, my grandson.
Andrea, are you with Vincent right now?
Could you ask Andrea if she's with Vincent?
Is Andrea with Vincent?
Yeah, my grandson.
Andrea, are you with Vincent right now?
I also asked Andrea if she was safe in the house, and she replied, yes, I am. I'll play that EVP for you now.
Are you safe here? Are you safe here?
I asked Kathy who else she thought might be in the house, and she replied, my mom. Andrea then said Grandma. When I asked Kathy what her name was, Kathy replied Mary. Then you can hear Mary say her name herself. I'll play that for you now.
Who else do you think is here?
My mom. Grandma.
What's her name?
Mary.
Mary?
Mary.
Are you here? Who else do you think is here?
My mom. Grandma.
What's her name?
Mary.
Mary?
Mary.
Are you here? Who else do you think is here?
My mom. Grandma.
What's her name?
Mary.
Mary?
Mary.
Are you here?
That was the information that we got the very first night. Got a lot of photographs and a lot of videos. I'll show you the photographs later, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to show you any of the videos. On the second night of the investigation, we spoke to Kathy out in my car and told her what we discovered from the first night. We asked her about the house, if she ever witnessed anything paranormal in the house, about the history of the house, and about Andrea, Jack, and Vincent as well. I'll play for you part of the discussion that we had in my car, but I can't play all of it because of privacy laws. Here's a car interview.
I don't know what I heard because I was the only one in the house. I told myself if I'm going to hear anything from anybody, I'm going to have to do it myself because I know my mom, I'd have to be alone. So when I was down there, these guys were here last time, they came out and had a cigarette and I stayed downstairs by myself and pretty much thought this was just, kind of stupid, but I'm just going to talk to Mom anyway. So I talked to Mom and then I said, I was talking mid-sentence and then all of a sudden this big It sounded like a big pipe hitting on another big pipe. Huge. Like, it wasn't like a tap. It was like the house. It was like the house.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking there was a game going on up here at the ball field. And I remember thinking, I wonder if those people can hear this. That was my thought because it was that loud.
Wow.
But he said he didn't hear anything on the tapes and stuff. And then after that happened, about the fourth bang, the first bang, I looked right to where it came from. And you couldn't see past the dark, you know, but there's an old freezer down there. And it went 4 times, and then I just stopped. Because I was right in the middle of talking, and then I just went, okay, I'm going to go now. Because then I felt fear. Then I felt scared. Because I thought, if that was my mom, I don't think she'd be that damn loud. I don't know. I don't know anything about this stuff. So I got the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So this is Nikki. This is they were cousins. Nick and Aunt are cousins.
Okay.
Real close. They're like 2 months apart.
Okay, now, Andrea, we basically know that what she did is because she was sad, very sad.
Yeah.
And when we asked about the note, Mary jumped in and told Andrea to shut her mouth. And we know that Vincent's there. Okay, what? Okay, Jack committed suicide in here too.
No, Jack did not. Jack killed himself in his own apartment.
Oh, in his own apartment?
Yeah, he wasn't here. He didn't do that here.
Oh, okay.
So if he comes through, that'd be great. But
well, he is here.
he is here.
Yeah,
I mean, he
I
was here
it.
all the time with Mom, mowing the yard, taking care of everything for Mom, and yeah.
Yeah, Andrea said that she liked me, and Jack said I don't like him. And Mary's here, and we also know Vincent's here. I heard Vincent say something. If I remember right, he just said hi. But we asked if Vincent was here, and she said, and Andrea said yes. So we know it. Jack's here, Andrea's here, Mary's here, Vincent's here. But she said that there were 6 spirits here.
Could be my dad.
Your dad?
My dad's gone.
What's his name?
John.
John? Okay, we'll see if we can talk to John. Now, do we know why
Did Andrea
Jack...
have any kids?
Did Andrea have kids? Yes, 2. She had 2.
And nobody knows why she killed herself.
You know, she's never been really well. She's never been really well. She's always had a struggle. Alcohol, drugs, and it just got bad.
Oh.
You know, went to court a lot. And, and said she was supposed to appear that morning. Mom came here. She was staying here because she was in trouble. And then Marilyn had the kids, custody of the kids. She couldn't have her kids.
Okay.
And when Mom came here that morning, because she was supposed to go to court, she told her mom, I'm not going back to jail. So when Mom came here that morning, Mom found her.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay, so she was just struggling to get her life together and
Yes.
couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Now, Mary, she owned the house.
Yeah, this is where we all grew up.
This is where you all grew up. Okay, that explains why Mary was here and Andrea's here.
Yeah.
Vincent
would have been Cheryl's grandson. So Travis and Jill's first baby that they lost.
And Cheryl is
Pam's friend. You know, she's the same age Pam is. They went to school together.
Okay.
All right.
Now, what happened to Vincent?
Well, he was not. They told him. I think if I remember it, they told him that once baby would be born, he would not survive. But she went through the pregnancy anyway and had the baby, and I think shortly within an hour, not even an hour, I don't think he passed.
Okay.
So,
he's here. I heard his voice.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Cheryl's grandbaby.
Okay, yeah. Vince is here. Andrea said
So
Vincent
nobody's
was
lived here in 3 years. Huh?
Nobody's been here. Been trying to sell it. I signed papers this morning. We did sell finally, and we'll close on the 8th. So this is our last shot of getting in here.
Okay.
Well, all right. I got enough information now.
I think that's all we need to know. What I'm going to do is when we go in, I'm going to call all of them. And we're not going to set up the cameras like we did last time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just turn a light on and put it in a room and basically stay in front of there.
Okay.
But we'll walk through and take pictures too and see if we can get them to talk to us again.
Okay. Yeah, this will be our last shot. Because once the 8th comes, we won't have custody.
Do they know the house has been sold?
No.
Okay.
It just happened today.
Oh, did it? Okay.
I just signed today. It was going to be sold, but then the guy was taking too much time, and I told the realtor, we're not selling to this guy. He wanted to come in and put dirt around the house. All this stuff to it, but he didn't have he hadn't bought it yet. So I said, take the signs off. We took the sold signs off, and then another person called right after we took those off, and is paying cash for the house.
Good.
Really?
So yeah.
How much did you buy it for?
90,000.
90,000?
That's this with all the land. So
Yeah.
really not that much. But we has to go because we're running out of money for
keep-
taxes and insurance, and
Yeah,
I
and
still got to
heat.
pay the heat and electric, even though nothing's on. You still
Yeah.
got to pay for that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
After the car interview, we all went inside the house, and a couple other ladies joined us. One of them was a friend of Andrea's. While we were standing in the dining room talking, we all heard a cough, and it surprised us all. It really caught us off guard. You can hear Kathy in this next recording. You can hear Kathy say, "What the hell?" After I listened to the recording, I heard I heard the cough, but I also heard Vincent say, "That hurt." I'll play that for you now.
And that's the day I came in here and was like, I need to in here. I was like, what the hell?
That sound.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, what the hell?
We then headed down into the basement, and there was a guy that joined us that night. His name was Ed McTaggart from McTaggart Paranormal in Falls City, Nebraska. When we got into the room where Andrea committed suicide, I told everybody to turn their flashlights off. While we were standing there talking, I started asking Andrea some questions. And all of a sudden, I noticed a flash of light out of the corner of my eye. And I asked, "Okay, what is that?" And Andrea replied, "Flashlight." Come to find out, Ed got scared, turned his flashlight back on after I told him to keep their flashlights off. I'll play that recording for you now. Are you with me right now? Okay, what is that?
Hot truck.
Are you with me right now? Okay, what is that?
Hot truck.
There was, we left the basement. We went upstairs and we started going through the bedrooms. And when we got into the one bedroom, all of us heard a male's voice say, "You are dead." And it just sent chills through my spine and along with everybody else's. I'll play that for you right now.
She went downstairs. She went downstairs. She went downstairs.
Like I said, one of Andrea's friends joined us that night. She took the recorder and, I gave her the recorder and sent her downstairs to see if she could talk to Andrea. And she went down there, started talking to her. I can't play that recording for you. I wish I could. But privacy laws. But anyway, the woman started crying while she was talking to Andrea. And we could hear Andrea tell her, "Please don't cry for me." And the woman asked her why she committed suicide. She said, "I was sad. So very, very sad." But like we know, Andrea was going to go to court the morning that they found her hanging in the basement. And she just couldn't deal with it. She had some serious issues with drugs and alcohol, and she just couldn't handle it anymore. She didn't want to go back to jail. Because if she would have went to jail, she would have been there for quite a while. After we got done with the investigation, we took all of our equipment out to the car, put it all away, but we left one camera sitting inside the house upstairs, and we were all standing, well, Leslie, Kathy, and I were standing in the dining room talking, and all of a sudden you could hear the doors slam. And I think it's because just prior to the door slamming, we told everybody that the house was sold and that they weren't going to be able to come back anymore. And I don't know which spirit slammed the door, but they slammed it really hard, and it really startled us. But I'll play for you that video now.
Maybe it's my favorite.
Yeah, you definitely can hear the door slamming. But I'm going to show you some pictures of the house and talk to you a little bit about them. This was a picture taken from the dining room into the living room. You can see two orbs up towards the top of the arch. See the one off to the left of center of the doorway behind Kathy. And now there's one back there in the doorway of a room, a bedroom off to the side of the house. Went downstairs in the basement. We caught quite a few pictures, but there's only so many I can show you. I'm allowed to show you. Now that's Leslie standing towards the back of the house. You can see her over by that archway. But she was standing there, and she told me, she said, there's something in front of me. Take a picture. So I took a picture, and just to the left in the doorway, you can see kind of a misty shape. Leslie told me that she could see movement of the air, kind of like a mirage, like steam or something coming off the highway, you know, how you get that mirage look, that wavy, and she said it was a lot like that. Now there's one orb really high up there towards the top of the arch. And over on the left-hand side of the main doorway, that little window opening, you can see an orb towards the top of that. Again, there's an orb. That's a doorway going into the kitchen. That's Leslie on the left, and that's Kathy on the right. But I was taking a couple more pictures, and you can see that mist again back there in that doorway, in that back room. It's kind of like that's a sunroom is what it is. And there was something standing there in the doorway. It was a very interesting investigation, to say the least. But like I said at the beginning, the people that I talked to during this investigation, they were all very disturbed by the fact that Andrea committed suicide. Her friends were there with us, and they couldn't help but cry because they missed her so much. And Well, her sister cried too, along with a few other people. But like I said, if you're ever thinking about harming yourself, get help. Don't take the coward's way out, okay? People need you. They love you. And no matter how rough life gets, hey, keep driving on. Don't give up. Fight. Okay? Well, that's the end of Andrea for now. You guys all have a good night. Okay?
Bye, everybody.